Hello.
No, we weren't dancing backstage.
We weren't dancing to the weird knockoff In Your Eyes thing for the 30 seconds. We would never do that. We're incredibly serious people. Hi, Fightful Faithful. It's NXT review.
The serious NXT review. The serious Sour Graps, where we're serious all the time. Serious. Like Sirius XM serious. It is the NXT Sour Graps review for March 25th. We're going to ask you a whole bunch of things, guys. First of all, if you're subscribed to Fightful Select, what's supposed to be the best $6 in the business, you got a $5 month. So God bless you. There was a billing error. So
now that is good. That's like 12.5% off for 1 month only. That's good stuff.
There it is, guys.
I keep being told that like you get 10% off your next order is a really good deal. And it's like, yeah, but I was only going to order like $15 worth of stuff, so I get $1.50 off. Woo! But no, not us. We go above and beyond.
We
12.5% off this month only.
Definitely wasn't a glitch.
Because we love you. That's why.
Because we love you so much. So just don't be disappointed when you actually get charged $6 next month. But we do ask you to subscribe to FightfulSelect.com. Big day over there on the free tier. Some unfortunate news. The TNA firings, releases, as it were, they were all corporate positions, so they're not really released from a contract so much as fired. But same very unfortunate vibe. Gail Kim being one of the most shocking names, and a couple of other people who it sounds like a lot of the wrestlers at TNA were surprised about. Gail Kim is like so synonymous with TNA and Impact at this point that one's particularly disappointing.
One of the most venerated women in the business.
Genuinely. Like, and it just is, man, Veda Scott said it best. She was like, we need more women in leadership positions in wrestling companies, not less. And there was nobody who was doing it like to the extent, I think, in wrestling that Gail Kim was in present day. And, you know, after Mickie James got bumped from season 2 of LFG and this, I'm like, these two women are just like the ones that I feel like never get the respect that they're owed, even as highly as they're regarded. It just seems like something is always out to get them. But very, very, very disappointing news. But a big news on the contract front as well. Looks like Mina Shirakawa is coming into AEW. That was reported by FightfulSelect.com, which is really, really fun news if you're an AEW fan. And Mariah May being in a contract year as well. I don't think we have a specific time frame, just at some point this year, which would make sense if you kind of follow what her deal trajectory might be. But I'm sure AEW is set out to keep her around. I can't imagine that they would be looking to let that one slip through their fingers after the incredible job she's done literally since showing up through now, truly. So and if Mina's coming over, you got to think that Mariah May is sticking around. The love is just too intense there. But all on FightfulSelect.com, things like releases, firings, injuries, anything to do with things that are bigger than wrestling, that does go on our free tier. We do have a free tier. You get the headlines as well of the stories that are on the paid tier of Select. So if you want to dip your toe in the water before committing, please do. But for $6 a month, you get accurate news. You don't get a bunch of nonsense that's floating around out there. In addition to Fightful Select, we also ask that you subscribe to this YouTube channel. We always encourage that, but when half of the WrestleMania build is in Europe and our post shows are going on at all different times of funky times, you're going to want to be subscribed to get those notifications. I know Alex loves this part. Smash that like button. Tap that bell for notifications, but like with like one of those palms, like when you're tapping chimes, just like a pretty thing.
I think like with like tap somebody out, like tap out the bell.
Oh, like put the bell in a submission hold.
Put the bell in an ankle lock and tap out that bell for notifications.
And grapevine the bell, damn it! Do it the right way.
Grapevine the bell for notifications.
Grapevine the bell for notifications is so good. I'm using that moving forward. So say subscribe to this YouTube channel. Please do leave a thumbs up on this episode of this show. And Alex, it was kind of like 2 weeks ago we got probably the best episode of the new best TV, at least of the new era 2.0 forward. Last week was not good. This week I felt like was somewhere kind of in the middle.
Yeah. It's fine.
It was fine.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, okay. I mean, so many of the things we thought were going to happen happened. You know what I mean?
It was predictable, but
very predictable.
The right type of predictable. Yeah.
Yeah, but like sometimes predictable is not terrible. It's just predictable. Predictable is very rarely good because it's predictable, but it's not automatically terrible because it's predictable. It's just predictable.
Well, and when we do get unpredictable in NXT, it's usually really bad. So
I'm not saying that all things that are unpredictable are good. It's not. They're not mutually exclusive. But if you are doing a match, let's say that you're having the women's double champ defend both of her titles on the same night, and the world title is the one that goes on first. And we know for a fact that the current challenger for that particular title ran afoul of a different woman last week who would probably be out for revenge. Then we know probably within a, let's say, 96% certitude that that woman is going to come and get involved in the match. And then when you show a camera backstage of the entire women's locker room watching the match on a monitor, and the first time that woman who was angry last week is sitting at the end of a row in the front row, and we go, oh, she's obviously very angry. And then the second time you show all those women, you show her get up and leave the frame as though she is walking to the ring. Then that 96% certitude becomes 112% certitude that Jordynne Grace is coming to the ring to get involved in the Jaida Parker and Stephanie Vaquer match. And is it predictable? Absolutely. Was the match bad? No. Was it the best match I've seen Jaida Parker have? No. Certainly wasn't the best match I've seen Stephanie Vaquer have. But I think a lot of that is because they're holding back because there's an obvious end to this thing that makes it last longer. By the end of the night, we will see that Jaida Parker is not done with either of these women. So we're not doing all of our A stuff because we're going to save that for a match further down the road. It's just what NXT is wrestling school that has a camera on it. We're just watching this thing, like doing the stuff that happens. And it is very, very obvious stuff at this point. It doesn't mean it's bad, but it doesn't mean it's good either.
Well, it's how the time just flies, Alex. Like we are a month out from Stand and Deliver all of a sudden.
We are all of a sudden.
When you kind of can back into what the programs are, this season is going to be a little predictable, which is good and bad in some ways, but Alex, I didn't think this early in the show it would call for it, but you're talking about all these percentages. You got some Steiner math going on.
I do. Yeah.
I mean, if I could do anything with those and apply it to maybe some wagers that I wanted to place.
Oh, you've got a numbers system, do you, for your online betting?
Online bet? Why, I was going straight to the racetrack, Alex. I hadn't even
No. You can do it online now. I know it's crazy. What? There is no fewer than 100 different betting online services, but only one that's AG.
I want to talk to you guys about our great partner at BetOnline AG. Yes, the place that lets you bet on pro wrestling. We've gotten our pro wrestling betting odds from them for years, well before we even worked with them. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about them. They got the earliest lines, the fastest payout, the industry best bonuses. They've been trusted for 25 plus years because of their safe and secure environment and their quick payouts. But you can bet on pro wrestling. How cool is that? If you think you know more than anybody, go ahead and look at those odds. It's the same ones you've seen on Fightful for years. You might see one that sticks out to you and you go, wait a second, there's no way that person's going to win. Why are they an underdog? Make yourself some money. BetOnline AG. And hey, it doesn't stop there. Whatever sports you want, they got you covered. Popular games like blackjack and roulette, Supernova, Skyward, all that stuff. BetOnline AG. Please bet responsibly and only bet what you can at BetOnline AG.
We weren't dancing. Why does everyone keep saying that?
Everybody is accusing us of dancing to the music in the ad bumps, and we are definitely not doing that.
I would never. Maybe a little. Alex, I don't know what to do about puns because last week we did baseball puns and opening day is tomorrow.
I know. I was saying maybe we're doing it a little too early last week.
Well, I'm sorry you brought a bad other topic to the table, but because we have a 2-champ, should we do pairs?
That was my suggestion last week. But fine, yes, things that come in pairs.
No, you had like 50s. You were like stuff from the 50s because I make recently.
I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Pairs puns.
Okay. We'll do pairs puns.
Things that come in pairs, or it could be the fruit just for fun.
Sure. I was going to say, because they call themselves Dark State, what if they're states puns? Can you figure out things from different states of the United States? But we have people who are from Canada and Europe
also,
who don't.
This is bad vetoing. No, rejecting
no,
geography.
no.
Nerd, get out of here. I sincerely, I do this to one of my friends all the time. I don't know if Ryan is watching right now, but he's in school for history, and I love calling him a nerd. And he's like, you do a wrestling podcast like every day of the week, right? And I'm like, yeah, like a cool person does.
I mean, Vermontavious Porter. Vermontel Vontavious Porter. Already I got a great one. There's got to be other ones, right? No?
It's a free-for-all. Do whatever you want, kids. I don't care. I'm doing the dishes. I'm trying to put the kids to bed.
Fine.
Running amok in this household.
I'm going on vacation tomorrow. I really honestly don't.
You are before
I have senioritis. I am out the door tomorrow. I don't care.
That's so fun.
Your leader is Vermontel Vontavious Porter. Let's see what else you can do. Okay. It's Vaquer versus Jaida Parker. It's fine. Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace obviously gets up and leave. It was a weird thing that like they were all seated in folding chairs in like 3 rows, and then Ava standing in the middle of them, blocking the view of most of the locker room, was just a weird thing it's a weird flex for Ava to be like, I'm standing in the front. I wear Doc Martens. I'm taller than everybody else. I'm already a tall gal, and I'm wearing boots with lifts on them. I'm going to stand in the front of all of you. You'll all have to do this to watch the match. That just seems like a weird flex from Ava. I'm just saying.
Look, when I was 23, I was doing a lot more pathetic stuff to try and seem like important.
Okay.
So
Fair enough. Fair enough. And then we did.
Match was really good. I think you're right that it wasn't Jada's best, but there was nothing wrong with it per se. It just kind of felt more like a standard TV match.
Honestly, these kids who don't come from wrestling, who straight up have said in interviews, I never watched wrestling. I never thought I would become a wrestler. And then they were like, hey, you're a college athlete. Would you like to try out for this? And I was like, yeah, I'm not going pro in female soccer. So sure, let's see what happens. And then they found out they had a knack for it, but have no, there's just, I think if you are a human being and you have any kind of sense in your brain, and they tell you, yeah, you're wrestling this match, but it doesn't really count because at the end of it, the girl who you're actually feuding with is going to come to the ring and distract you so you get rolled up. Well, then you're not going to go out there and like put in your best effort, like just not on purpose, but just your brain is going to go, well, what am I doing all of this for then? Because that's just what wrestling is, especially now. And you just have to fight through it. And it's the most obvious thing in the world to everybody else, but everybody else has got to go out there and kill themselves for 8-9 minutes, knowing full well that none of this matters, because you're just going to do a disqualification finish not disqualification here, distraction finish that's obvious to everybody else. I think if you cut your teeth going for 10 years on the indies, you get all of that sense in your brain knocked out of you. And you don't, like, when you've done 50 matches, you're still questioning whether any of this shit seems real.
You get the being a person part knocked out of you on the indies if you're grinding away for 10 years. You know what's funny is I feel like in Jaida Parker's class, she has been the best, and Kalani's really coming along, although the Vice has gotten there too. But like Jaida Parker is normally the best with making it feel like she wants to fight. Mm-hmm. And Joe Holbert, who's a wrestle purist and has been on Fightful plenty of times. He used to work at Fightful. He had said something like, man, on American television right now, there's just not enough people that just are like looking to fight. And I've said that a lot. And it's one of 9,000 reasons I miss Eddie Kingston, because that guy's only ever looking to fight. And Kevin Owens is really good at it. But in the NXT world, I feel like we got to that level of viciousness with Ethan Page and Javon. And I don't know if that type of physicality exists anywhere else right now on NXT. And it's whatever. It's kind of a weakness of the brand because of what you said. But now that there's like, you have people that are not, it's not so NIL heavy anymore. Because it's impossible to be like, it's got to be pretty damn near impossible, I would think, to be like, let me learn the most unnatural things I can do with my body and also be ever present and telling a story the entire time. That's just not going to happen unless you have kind of the experience of the people that are coming in from the outside now, which is great and that's healthy and it's good for the younger talent to come along. But that does kind of seem to be a blanket thing across all of wrestling right now, because Cody and John Cena can't stop yapping at each other. CM Punk and Seth Rollins can't stop missing each other week by week and yapping at each other and pulling apart. Like all the brawls are getting pulled apart.
It is pull apart city.
Pull apart city. And then in AEW world, obviously John Moxley's getting like spiked bats at his back. But like I do miss like Kevin Owens was going after Cody that way. Javon and Ethan were going after each other that way. Like, to me, that's such an important aspect of title adjacent face heel work is that aspect of it. Of, I don't need there to be a title because I'm rooting for that guy and that guy sucks and I want to see him get his ass beat. Like, that fundamental thing is what makes the physicality come to life, and it's just kind of missing across the brands. And to NXT's credit, some of that is just because they just blew off some of those feuds, so they're in rebuild mode. But I miss that aspect of it on here, because like Lexis King being a chicken shit isn't that, right? So I hope there's some feud that kind of lives up to it, because I don't think that's what we're getting out of Dark State, but we'll talk about that later. Good match. Nothing overwhelmingly great to say about it. Certainly nothing bad about it. Like, nothing wrong with it. Just just kind of like an in-between TV match.
And Jordan Grace comes out and gets on the apron to talk crap to Jaida Parker, and then she's like, "You better turn around." And there's Stephanie Vaquer, who doesn't like hit her finisher on her. Like, Jaida Parker is smart enough to like stop her from kicking her in the gut and then try and do her thing again. But her little running butt, and Stephanie Vaquer is a good enough wrestler to counter it into a roll with her legs crossed and pulling back on him. It was nice. It was it was a good counter to her. And then Jada's just super pissed at Jordan Grace. And this is the thing is, like, there was absolutely no reason for Jaida Parker to attack Jordan Grace last week. None. You could come out and you could say, hold up, no, you don't get to jump me. You want to fight over it? That's fine. I'll kick your ass to become number one contender to her. If you had done that, Jaida, then I don't think Jordynne Grace would enter into this thing and do all this. It was all Jada's fault. This is all happening. There was no reason for her to attack. Jordan was Blackwood's like, I don't even think we've met.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. I'm standing here in 10-inch boots. I have no idea why I'm wearing these boots that Marilyn Manson wore on tour in 1998. I don't understand why I'm wearing these particular platforms. But you can't just knock me over. I have my center of gravity is so off base right now. You can't just shove me. I'm just toppling over. You know, that's not like timber.
That's right.
You know,
listen, the sacrifices we make for our fashion. Also, shout out to my dad and my cousin who are in the chat, one apart from each other.
That's great. Paul Elizabeth says, brings us yes, the awesome team Kalex. Everything sucks is a rallying cry. Our leader in the clubhouse, JW Pringle. Well, thank you.
My dad rules. Like extra hard today.
Yeah.
His softball season got rained out or his opener got rained out yesterday.
Oh, that's terrible. The entire season got rained out?
The whole season, the opener.
Wow. Jeez. So yes, as Jordynne Grace and Jaida Parker are being pulled apart, because that's what happens in these things.
You gotta pull apart.
Fatal Influence came in and attacked Stephanie Vaquer and hurt her ribs. All three of them attacked her. So they get
I was like, I think she has more than 3 ribs.
No, I get it. Thank you. No,
you're welcome. Yeah. Alex, you want to hear my joke?
Yes.
What does Triple H call the money that he makes from all the melees that he's doing?
Okay, hold on 1 second. One second. If you're getting 2 jokes, now go.
Hey, want to hear my joke?
Tell me a joke.
What do Triple H and HBK call all the money they're making from all these melees they're doing on the shows?
I don't know. Please tell me.
They call the money pull apart bread.
Bread.
Let's get this bread.
Bread being a common euphemism for money. Also, there's a kind of bread that is called pull apart bread. Bump, bump, bump.
We'll be right back with Ariana Grande.
I honestly don't know why we're still on the air.
I don't either.
It's just not what.
It was a bit that was born behind the paywall. It was going to spill over eventually.
Yeah. This is the best. Cyclops says that your dad can't beat his dad in a fight.
My dad could whoop your dad's ass.
All right.
He wouldn't, because he's a really nice, upstanding gentleman. Yeah. But he could. Okay. But it's like, why is my daughter volunteering me to fight?
Trick Williams argued with Javon Evans backstage. Why are you pushing me to the side? We all have to band together and get rid of these 4 guys who are definitely not working with you already. And Trick Williams is like, "What are you talking about? You told I'm going after Oba. I'm the man around here, and I'm getting my title back." And Javon's like, "I'm gonna be champion. I'm gonna be Lexis King. I'm gonna beat him. And then I'm prove you wrong that I can be a champion." In this watered down 9th level version of a championship in WWE. Like, of all the titles in WWE, this is the least prestigious, but I'm totally going to beat the worst guy to ever hold it. And that'll prove it to you. Anyway, this is weird.
Let's talk about it though. Do we think Trick is leading this faction, right? He's the only one that's like not concerned about them.
There's only 2 options now. It's Trick or Stacks. Those are the only two options.
We're going to talk about this Stacks development because I have concerns.
But yeah, no, by the end of the night, it's pretty obvious that it's Trick Williams. I do like that they're putting in a red herring that it might be Stacks.
I thought that was actually really well done.
Like they don't, it's very rare, especially in NXT, where they're like, this is the obvious thing. And they're like, but what if it's Ilya Dragunov though? And it's totally not Ilya Dragunov, but it might be Stacks. Like it might be Stacks.
Hold on.
That's, yeah.
What if it's Ilya Dragunov?
What if it's Ilya Dragunov though? Tatum Paxley and Gigi Dolan argued with Jakara Jackson, Lash Legend, RE TNA Knockouts titles.
I'm just mad at TNA today, so it's hard for me to come around.
Yeah. No.
It's going to be good.
I mean, are you mad at them because Ash by Elegance is one half of the tag team champions? That's what I'm mad at them about. I mean,
no, I'm mad at them for the releases, but I don't follow the product. Clearly, last week I proved I don't follow that product close enough to have harsh opinions one way or the other.
Like, so it's one of them. It's Ash by Elegance and also Heather by Elegance. Like, did they? Heather
Reckless, I believe.
But
she was on the Indies for a while.
They called her Heather by Elegance tonight, and I don't know if that was a typo or what they're called. Their tag team name should be called Tag by Elegance. Like that's that. If you're gonna name yourself after a fragrance, everything you do should be named after the same fragrance. But
fair.
Yeah. So that we'll defeat you tonight to prove that we have a shot against them on Thursday. And also, Soul and Zelta, sit down. You're not part of this conversation, says Last Legend. And I would beg to differ. I would beg to differ that Zarya Zelta versus Last Legend is a female hoss battle I would like to witness. So
as would I.
Do it. See, Tom, there you go. Tag by Elegance is a really solid name. See, thank you. I know what I'm doing here.
I think maybe just scrap the elegance thing.
No, sorry.
I don't watch TNA, so I don't even know.
I didn't start calling her Ash by Elegance. They did that. Now they made their bed. They got to lie in it, and it's got to smell by Elegance. You know what I mean?
She's got to come out and spray it.
Yeah. Hey, we actually got an interference finish to an interview tonight, which is hard to do. Like we got.
That was wild.
You know what I mean? Like we're gonna there were interferences in almost every match. We're actually just gonna do an interference in the interview, so that was nice. Vic Joseph interviewing Ricky Starks and everybody on the SGS Discord tonight was like, that's going to be interrupted by Ridge Holland. And no, it was just interrupted by a different guy. Because it was it's just too many people who could interrupt things. But it was Sean Spears, who's like, I'll take it from here. And I loved Vic Joseph going, I am having an interview with this. And he didn't say no. He was just vaguely complaining about it while exiting the shot. I thought that was very funny.
He's so good, man. He's so good.
Listen, did you notice tonight that Lexis King, his beard was less dramatic? Like they didn't. It was still pointy in places, but it was more his actual shade of brown as opposed to what they normally do it with all the shoe polish and everything. And I figured out why. It's because they ran out of shoe polish when they were doing Sean Spears' beard, because he used up all the Just for Men. Like just straight. He went to CVS. He went to one of those cabinets that's locked. He got somebody to come in and unlock it for him. He said, I won't see that jet black. I want all of those. And then he just said, like, that's the thing about that, is that as a guy who had to, like, playing a dude who was wearing a wig, a very dark black hair for a play, and this is the color of my beard. Like, you can use your own beard, but we want you to black it up so we're to get like Just for Men in the beard. And if you use just a hair too much of that thing, you look like Sean Spears tonight, which is just to say very that is a black
Stark.
beard. Yes. And I was very distracted by it because I have the ADHD. And so I had to go back and listen to the rest of the thing while not looking at the TV. And honestly, just the sound of it, this was really compelling to me, of Sean Spears being like, we've known each other for a long time. How long we know each other? Ricky Spears, too long. Yeah. I just love the way that Sean Spears is like, no, same old Ricky. And I honestly thought that this was A, incredibly compelling by Sean Spears, and B, really interesting, another layer of they haven't done the you came from a different place this way before. And I thought that was really cool of like, him like, why did we've known each other for years now. Why do you think I didn't ask you to be in the cutting? Because you knew I was going to say no. No, that's not why. But don't ever change. It's because you don't have the stomach for it or whatever it was. Like, I honestly love that moment of, because I was going to say no. Like that moment of like recognizing, like there's something about, and honestly, I'm so Ricky Starks, he's great at this too, but Sean Spears should sit down with everybody they got there. If they actually are doing acting classes, and by God, I hope they are. Sean Spears did something here in acting that you need to do at some point, which is your character needs to be surprised by the thing the person across from you is saying. Because that happens in regular conversation all the time. I did not expect you to say that. But when you are reading from a script, you can see the line that they're going to say, so you're never surprised by it. So you need to pretend to be surprised by it. And when he said, you want to know why I just joined the calling? Because you said I was going to say no. No, like that moment of he takes where he recognizes the joke that Ricky Starks is trying to tell, and also why that pisses him off about Ricky Starks. And that's another reason why I didn't ask you. None of that is said. He just goes, no. And that the line reading is fantastic. Like, Sean Spears could teach all these guys a thing or two just about how to interact as human beings, which is very rare in wrestling. And I liked all of this back and forth. And then, don't worry, if it doesn't work out for you here, you could always go back to, oh, wait. No, you can't, because you burned every bridge there and everywhere else you've ever been to, haven't you? And I was like, well, no, he can go to TNA. Oh, wait, he can't go to TNA because this company owns that too. Gee, this is tough. I honestly thought this was really well done, and the Ricky Starks versus
it's Saints now, Alex.
I almost gonna say Starks because that's his name. But the Ricky Starks thing with Sean Spears is really more compelling than I thought they were going to make it. And it's I'm not going to mind so much when Ricky loses next week because the numbers game. Because he's definitely getting another shot at it, and he will eventually be the one to take the title off of Sean Spears. But honestly, like, if it lasts until June before he actually gets it, I'm kind of fine with that if the whole feud is as compelling as this first thing was.
I also really liked it, and it's because I feel like Sean Spears is grounded in this.
Somehow the cult leader is a very grounded individual.
Yeah, well, it kind of, in a way, he has to be for this to work, but they just don't usually do that. So I was excited to see that, because this is a very dark, weird, culty thing, but it's not spooky, right? So him coming across as a person and not a goofball, that was the thing that we loved about Joe Gacy when he had his thing going on, was we liked those moments where it seemed like he was a human being, not when he was kidnapping a Steiner for no reason. We liked the moments where that I can't watch horror movies. We know this, right? But I feel like there's something so much more compelling about the villain who you actually met walking down the street than the villain who is so supernatural they could never actually exist. Like that doesn't scare me as much because there's no way that would be real. The real ones freak me out a little, and that's what I liked about this was he seemed like a human being, and the psychological mind games of it all, it feels better. Those natural conversation moments are great. Ricky Stark Saints is fantastic. So of course he received this well. But man, this whole brand is just floating by on those former AEW guys. Am I right? Am I doing tribalism right?
I think so.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Cyclops says, at what age are you too old to have a mohawk?
I don't think there's any age you're too old to have a mohawk.
I mean,
you're gonna weigh in on this?
I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I'm trying to figure out who's the oldest guy I've ever seen have a mohawk. I'm gonna say 80. I think 80. You're too old to have a because the scalp's probably pretty wrinkly. You know what I mean?
If you're 81,
I'm just gonna say it. 80. I'm saying 80.
80. Definitive answer.
Yeah.
See if we can make it a prop bet on Bet Online AG, or you can bet online.
So
Mr. T, the chat is saying Mr. T is the oldest person with a mohawk they've seen.
I can't remember what video they were watching. The Chase U Simps. They were watching a video and they were like, wow,
that was so freaked out by Andre Chase's hair, but go ahead. Hair and makeup was like, we're going hard with some dark brunette today.
Nope. Okay. They were watching some video and using the context of the video to clown Ethan Page for some reason. And then they were trying to get up at Ethan Page, who then shoved one of them down, the one with the mustache. Simp number 2. And then simp number 1, the world's worst leafy simp. What he
Kale.
The Simp Dixon. Chase U is like, don't do that to him. You're not allowed to do that, Ethan Page. This is not how we do things, Ethan Page. And Ethan Page is like, why don't I meet you in the ring later? And then the Simps get really excited about it because they get to watch on Mr. Chase wrestle. And then it's like, I gotta go handle this, which I guess means go to Ava and get the match made. And as he's walking, he stops and goes, come on. And then they go, yes. And I'm like, what? Why is this their characters?
I'm well, first of all, Simp 1 and 2, that's just what I call my DMs, am I right? Thanks for the follow-up. Worst hype man ever. That's not true. My account is locked and it's glorious. I don't get it. This isn't like I get it, and by way of taste, it's not for me. They said Chase U, which was never a real university, is now a dead fake university. And now these two students that were never profiled are hanging on.
Ever students of his.
Not in the classes we saw. But like
they went to night school. Yeah, I'm sorry. I forgot about that. They went to the night school classes. There was a satellite campus in Tallahassee. And they went to those classes at the satellite campus over in Tallahassee.
Yeah, it's a hybrid thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
I was the hair. What's going on?
I don't know.
It was emo today.
It was very emo today.
He has luscious hair, Andre Chase.
It's very long and the bangs are banging. And the shirt.
You got something to say about bangs, Alex?
No, I'm no. This is now, you know what he's become.
This is why you guys need to subscribe to Fightful Select, because yesterday my bangs were out of control and he said I looked like Sia, which is not wrong.
If they get like half an inch longer, you'll be swinging from the chandelier.
Party girls, whatever she says in that song. Anyway, I'm confused why this is the follow-up program for Ethan Page.
But it's not though. He's a villain of the week.
It's a pit stop, right?
He's a villain of the week because when he has the match versus Andre Chase, Ricky Starks is on commentary for it.
Right.
And then but Ricky Starks isn't feuding with Ethan Page. He's feuding with Shawn Spears. So why is he did Vic Joseph say, I want to thank you for being on commentary with us so I can finish this interview I was going to have with you? Was that it? It might have been. It would have actually made more sense than him sitting in on a match he has nothing to do with. But anyway, after the match with Ethan Page and Andre, which is good because Harlem Bravado is a good wrestler, even though they made him into a dark, terrible gimmick. He's a good wrestler. So he has a good match with Ethan Page, but loses. And the Simps are very upset by this. And then Ethan Page and Ricky Starks start jaw-jacking with each other. And here comes Shawn Spears out of nowhere, hitting Ricky Starks Saints with the belt. And then all of the culling all gathers around to cull. And we have Ethan Page just standing up there laughing. And next week we're getting Ricky Starks Saints versus Shawn Spears. So it's just Ethan Page is the villain of the week for both Andre Chase and Ricky Starks Saints, who but he's not really doing anything with them right now. So I wanted there to be a bigger and better follow-up than just some mid-card heel stuff. I wanted him to have something to do after he lost to Javon. But we'll see.
I feel like it's such a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because he came in and they, not in our favorite construction, but they made Ethan Page a very big deal. Mm-hmm. And he had the title already, and he had many shots at the title already. So then the only place for him to kind of go is the mid card. Well, yeah. But it's tough when you have like a perfect. His feud with Javon Evans is about as perfect as something we've got. Like
I didn't think it was going to end so fast.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I hope it's a situation where it's simmering in the background because I really liked it. Maybe they revisit it for Stand and Deliver, but it certainly feels like it's going to be Ricky Saints and him.
He feels like the kind of guy who could go over and do something for, like, here's the other thing is like, we already had Joe Hendry invade over here. Send Ethan Page over to work Joe Hendry in the main event of TNA for a bit. Like,
well, no, because we've got Stand and Deliver coming up. He should be on the Stand and Deliver card.
If he's not going to be on that card, and right now, does that look like it's likely? Doesn't look likely to me. You know what I mean? So, like, if he's not going to be, if they don't have a spot for him to do anything of note or meaning going into Stand and Deliver, then have him take 6 weeks and go over there and mess up Joe Hendry's Easter.
This would be his first year. I think they're going to get him on the card. They might turn that into a triple threat. They're turning everything into a multi-man match on the main card.
I mean, they're very, very possibly. Everything's going to be a triple threat. So, yeah.
Like, Ricky Starks is out there on his match. You know what I mean? So,
perhaps, yeah.
That's got to be setting something up.
He's just at ringside so that Shawn Spears can hit him with a title belt. You know what I mean?
That's a tough day at work.
It is.
I'm just there to get hit with the title belt. It's a tough day at work.
It's a tough day. tough day. So
the other thing is, like, not to whatever, and I don't, this is not something I've heard from him or whatever, but I think, like, when he was done with TNA, he was pretty done with TNA. He would work to make money, I think, with whoever's over there, because I think he appreciates the talent, but, like, and it's a different regime, but he did not want to go out on the Karate Man note. He made that very public. Like, he did not want to end his TNA run with like a joke match. So he might not be like, oh, sick, get me back to TNA.
Listen, at some point there's gonna be an NXT guy or gal who is the top champion in TNA. At some point that's gonna be the thing.
Yes. I think
so like if Ethan Page gets one back and beats Joe Hendry, and then Joe Hendry wins it back from Ethan Page, that's a story that would be way more compelling than being a villain of the week, if indeed that's all he's going to be.
Villain of the week is kind of badass. Like, he should take that term. That's a cool term. He should copy and paste it onto TV. I like suppose.
It. You know who's doing multiple villains of the weeks right now is A Clown Down Under. They're just doing villains of the week shtick. Like, you got a baby face, you need somebody to beat up, we are them. You know what I mean? And that's just like, you don't want to be in that position because that's never fun. So Hank and Tank have a match versus the Bouncy Beef. We call them Bouncy Beef, Tyreek Igwe and Tyson DuPont. Yes. And they get talked to by Motor City Machine Guns. And again, the frequent flyer miles these people are picking up. Chelsea Green last week, Motor City Machine Guns this week, just flying all over the place. Like, listen,
back and forth to Europe and here,
yeah, just wow.
They might be. I'm wondering if they're done in Europe. I don't know if they have more to do with DIY.
I don't know, but yeah, they seem to have a problem with DIY last week that could easily require them to do. And hopefully, if they have more backstage stuff on SmackDown this week, they just filmed it last week.
You know what I mean? I would hope so.
Like, you know what I mean?
It's backstages.
So anyway, they're like giving them advice about, how to do stuff. And honestly, MCMG, where they should be right now, is working heel in NXT. Not immediately, but coming down and being like, hey, the Blurry Boys, Fraxium, we would like to have a title match versus you guys. And
I like that in your scripted dialogue, it uses our names for people.
It's because I think of that first and then I say it. So that's why his name will always be Ricky Stark Saints, because I don't think of Saints fast enough to not say Starks first. But then as I'm saying Starks, I go, no, that's not his name. His name is Saints. So I say Ricky Stark Saints. So now either Blurry Boys for Axiom. So Blurry Boys would be like, oh yeah, we'd love to fight you. You're one of our favorite tag teams. Oh, they what? And so then they do the match, and during the match they turn on them. Like they show they're bad guys, and then they beat them for the tag titles, and they're not on SmackDown anymore. Then you send up Fraxium. And they are the tag team down there who on screen is the heel champs that all the baby faces are trying to chase down there. And the heels, why not? But off screen, they are working with all the tag teams down there who are babies. Like almost all of them are absolute neonatal
infants.
And so they need more time working with stuff. And so like comparatively, Fraxium are absolute veterans of the game for 20 years. Like they've done enough that you obviously know they're fine, which of course is now where they're trying to break them up, because they're like, Nathan Fraser was yelling at Axiom about Axiom having a match versus Gunther. And why didn't you tell me? I would have been there to help you. You might've beaten him or something. And it's like, I was in the hometown with visiting family. And they called me up and they said, hey, you want to face Gunther? And I was like, well, of course I want to face Gunther. You weren't even in the country. And they're like, that's no excuse. That's no excuse, mate. Or whatever he said. You know what I mean?
It's so annoying how you can hear him perfectly now. It makes me mad. Because it really ruined our bit. I feel like that's been their story this entire time, though. So I think they go up as a tag team because it's also just in dire need on the main roster. Yeah. I like your idea about Motor City Machine Guns coming down and winning the titles because, one, very helpful in real life, and two, before Okada left for AEW, he was kind of flirting with this very fun heel run of being the old vet who is not helpful and is a dickhead. And like he was over there. I saw a match with him and Tana versus actually Motor City Machine Guns was in that match. And Aussie Open was in that match. And that's when I was like, Kyle Fletcher needs to rate it in, but he's going to be the future someday. And the little things like when you would go to chant Aussie, 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 he would be like, Okada, Kata, Kata, and just yelling at you. Like, he was great in that role, and it caught everybody by surprise because he'd been their singles babyface for so long. So it was like a really fun idea. I would love to see Motor City Machine Guns do like a, oh, did you have a fun match with the Hardys? How about you face like some veterans who are here to stay, who are going to show up, who are going to like put you in your place kind of thing. They could even do like a Ava. We're here to help you, Ken. We're going to get these tag teams under control for you. Stuff like that could actually be really, really, really fun. And I think an inspired run from them where, and to not their fault, but just, they just don't. Tag wrestling on the main roster is just not something that is cared about that much. They just are rotating the same 4 or 5 teams over and over and over again in contendership.
It's really kind of sad that what they're doing on SmackDown feels like a tag team renaissance when it's like a bunch of 3-star matches between a bunch of really great guys that like don't like just a round robin basically with nothing happening or going on, and we're like, you know, like it's by comparison. It's the
leagues
world
above.
It's the World Tag League compared to what's going over on Raw. You know what I mean? Like, this is amazing. But it's honestly, it's pretty good. But it's nothing that's like this.
Well, they get the screen time too because they get the full 3 hours. But yes, to your point, it is. It's pretty. By the standard of what great tag wrestling can be, it's pretty standard, pretty average. By what we've been trained to watch in WWE for the past decade or so, maybe longer, and by what's going on Raw, it's otherworldly. But it is the same teams constantly dancing with each other. It really is.
So anyway, Hank and Tank, their arc now is lose until they win the title. That's their arc.
Lose up.
Yeah.
Lose upward.
I would not be surprised if the next time Hank and Tank win a match, they win the titles.
It's so hard because I'm like, it's so hard to make any leaps to anything because I don't know what Phyrexium's timeline is, but I get you.
I'm saying, like, if on a long enough timeline, have really fun matches, but lose
6 months from now.
But lose them over and over again, and then somehow, like, okay, we're going to have a fatal 4-way, the champs versus these 3 teams, but one of these teams is injured, and we're going to do I guess we're going to have a triple threat now. No, Ava, I know we're not on a hot streak right now, but if you just give us the opportunity, we'll be the 4th team in this match. You know what I mean? And then Ava's like, all right, don't make me regret this. And they win. Like, that's the kind of thing they book in WWE all the time. Lose, champs. Like, is a thing that they would absolutely do. That was why I thought there was 0 chance they were going to win this match after they lost last week to Briggs and Inamura, to Team Double Vest. Why would they lose? Why would they now beat Team Bouncy Beef? Like, they're just going to lose to all the other mid-card tag teams until they somehow go on a win streak or just luck into the titles. You know, like, that's just a thing that, like, you don't actually have to win matches. It's enough that you're learning while losing to get a title shot, and then you win.
There was some fun stuff in here with, like, Motor City Machine Guns and ring nods, which I thought was fun. And we do get a segment later of them being like, we think you're really good. Like, I liked that.
Like, they said, like, you're not going to win every match. Like,
yeah.
You guys really showed out. We were really impressed by you tonight. Like you can't think like, oh, well, if I just do this, we'll win every match. There's no one thing that you will do where you will win every match. You guys, you're like, again, you are in the NICU. You were born premature and you are 3 pounds. You will eventually be fully grown tag teams, but right now you are nascent. Okay? You just need to learn more, and it's good that you're talking to us who have a lot of opportunity, who have a lot of experience and are willing to impart knowledge to you. Keep getting better. There's the sky's the limit for you guys, but right now you're just not winning right now. That's fine.
There were some good human being conversations on the show, which we don't always get in wrestling. The Starks and Spears one was good. This was one of them. You hate those stories, and I mostly do too. I don't mind them in tournament settings because 1, losses are afforded, and 2, like sometimes the crappy team does pull out a victory in a key spot. But in wrestling, it's like, how do you fail upward to that extent? Sure. So it's tricky, but I understand.
Whatever that year was, the Lions went 0-16. They didn't make the playoffs and then go on a miracle run to win the title. Like you went 0-16, so you don't get to be in the title round.
No, that's why I feel like the only context it works in is either tournaments where you're facing people anyway and it's determined, right? Or like the champ who was like, yeah, you guys are jokes. I have no problem facing you. And then they pull out a sneak win. Like that kind of stuff is fun. Kind of like when AJ Lee was like, oh, this rookie from NXT, and then she lost the next day, right? Like stuff like that is good. But
yeah. Or you get this with one of the greatest typos I've ever seen. Cyclo says sometimes you get a Daniel Garcia in the Congenital Classic, which is terrible because there's so many heart defects in that tournament. You just worry that somebody's gonna have a heart attack in it.
Oh my gosh, for that Congenital title too. I mean,
wow, that's a tough one. Also, I wanted to this wasn't super chatted, but I don't care. Dolph of Mexico is fine. This is not the same exact thing, but I'll take it. It's definitely not the Dolph of America. So now, while they were arguing, they showed on the monitor to the Fraxium boys that Obo is walking through the parking lot in a way that like the parking lot would not mess with him. You know what I mean? Like if there is a smoke monster who patrols the parking lot, not even the smoke monster was going to mess with Obafemi.
Absolutely not.
They were like, "Oh, he looks pissed. He does look pissed. Let's leave." And then wouldn't you know it, we're going right into that Javon Evans match. And Javon was bragging tonight about how he laid out Oba last week. That does not sound like it might help his chances. So it's him versus Lexis King without the crazy beard. I mean, it was not great, but it wasn't nearly as bad as it used to be. But here's what I'm like, Corey Graves, in a way that sounds not like his opinion, but as though it is somehow some kind of it's a statement that the company agrees with, says that the changes that Lexis King made to the Heritage Cup make it more legitimate. Because it's no longer best 2 out of 3 falls or 2 falls in 5 rounds because rules make things less legitimate because it's the European title, but instead of a belt, it's a cup because it's 1 fall to a finish. Now that makes it more legitimate, which just doesn't this. This was the only thing that you had across all the brands that had a specific set of rules to it, which made it interesting, not illegitimate.
Alex, you know how I feel about rules.
I know how you feel about rules.
You know that I love rules. This is great heel work for me specifically because I love rules. I'm a square. The more rules, the better. I love pure matches. Okay? I want to know how many rope breaks I'm allowed. I want to know how many closed punches I get. I want to know how many open punches I get. I want to know how many hugs and kisses I get. I want to know the time limit. I want to know all the things, Alex. I love rules. If Lexis King is going to come and take those rules away, darn it, Noam Dar's got to come back with them.
Well, like the story is that Noam Dar has to come back and take his title back. Like that's the story. The story is he comes back and Lexis King will only fight him under his own rules. And Lexis King, because it is one fall to a finish, Lexis King cheats behind the ref's back and gets the one fall. And then Noam Dar, babyface Noam Dar, says, "No, we're not going to do it that way. I went to Ava, and she has agreed that we were going to fight for the Heritage Cup one more time. And if I lose, I never get another shot at that cup ever again. But we're fighting it under the real Heritage Cup rules." And Noam Dar, babyface Noam Dar, wins. He goes down 1-0 at the beginning, and then he comes back and he wins. He wins in round 5 with like 10 seconds left on the clock. And he gets the title back. And now that he has the title, that he can change the rules back to what they're supposed to be. That's the real story to do. They're not going to do that because they don't do anything that's good. But like, that's the real story.
I need it. I miss Noam Dar so much. I miss his fashion. I miss his attitude. I miss his elongated pronunciation of Alicia Fox's name. I miss his Heritage Cupness. I missed it all. I miss his techery goodness in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a vegan too. Hell yeah. I love Noam Dar. I miss him.
This match was fine. Lexis King kind of kicking out of the best frog splash I've ever seen, not done by either Rob Van Dam or Montez Ford.
Yeah.
He just kicked out of it, and I was like, nah.
Javon's is up there, man.
Javon's is really, 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 really great. And then Oba shows up and just plucks Javon Evans out of the sky, and then hits a huge like last ride power bomb onto the apron, and the referee is in the ring, and that ring went like this. There's no chance he didn't know that something bad had happened. He turned around and was like, "Oh, well, because I didn't see a thing that definitely occurred, my hands are tied." And then, man, Kate, is it weird to you the way it is to me, or am I just mentally ill? Because when the referee...
There was one sentence to sum up our entire podcast.
Yeah. Is this weird to you the way it is to me, or am I just mentally ill? The podcast. So here he says, so here's the thing. When the ref is counting a guy out and he's going to end up back in the ring, the ref goes 1, 2, 3, and he does it at that pace until he gets to 7, and then it even gets longer in between them. And after 9, like, is the longest wait possible. Before he gets to 10, the guy does back in. But when the guy actually isn't scripted to get back in the ring, he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like there's that's a completely different count than the one you normally do. So like the count out victory just feels so dumb if you do it that way. And also just have Oba do it so the ref sees, because Lexis King doesn't care if he wins by disqualification. And also you don't like have Javon Evans like out there being like, I can't get back to my feet, and the ref being like, what is it? Like, that's just dumb.
Like when you're little and playing hide and go seek and you just want to like...
Yes.
You, my friend, have touched upon Kate pet peeve Right up there with opponents with matching ring gear is referee cadences that are unstable in either direction.
Yeah.
That is matching gear, going to the top rope in a battle royal. That was gifted to me by the Shining Wizards podcast. You gave me just getting out of a move for no reason. That drives me nuts now. So thank you for that.
Every time.
Every time.
No way. Why don't you just whatever.
And it always bugged me before, but now it's like now it's on the list.
Yeah.
And referee count cadence drives me crazy. No one see it's the Jonathan discretion of it all. It is. It is. I have now 180'd on Lexis King. I didn't like his thing tonight. I'm like, go back to making it ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah.
Because now he feels like he's not silly.
Now it feels like he's taking himself too seriously.
No, but if they're taking him seriously, that means they're going to start booking him seriously, which is not a good idea. Because the only thing that he just needs to be a douchebag everybody hates, and part of that is the facial hair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if he was ever going to do this, he should have been doing this for the 6 weeks where he was pretending to be a babyface.
Yeah.
6 weeks. What am I talking? 3 months that he was pretending to be a baby face. He should have gone to the natural beard, and then after he showed that he wasn't, the next time we see him, he goes back to the paint job. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's what you should be doing.
I missed it today. I was like, it's wrong. They could have definitely done the ending of this match a little bit better. Javon Evans is a phenom, and I know this makes me sound like an old lady, but I don't care because you know what? I got the sweater on. I'm in sweats from the waist down. I am an old lady today, okay? When he went flying into that announce table, Alex, I was like, we have to somehow rein this kid in a little bit.
Hank did the exact same thing on his dive earlier, and Hank. What this is telling me, Hank. So what this is telling me is not that we got to rein in this kid. We have to push the announce desk back a little bit. Because if Hank is clearing everything and just going shoulder first into the edge of a table, maybe the table shouldn't be so close to everything.
But I will say with Javon, this is the third or fourth time. There was the RKO thing. There were a couple other ones. So
yeah, for sure.
He's also very insanely skilled and doing things that nobody else can do. So learning how to manage that is like having a superpower. But there's been 4 or 5 times when he's done things that I go, oh God, in a genuinely nervous for him kind of way. Yeah. Especially on a random Tuesday for the Heritage Cup that you're not going to win. But he's so exciting to watch, man. And I love, gosh, the crowd is just so hooked on him. It's so fun to see people just be so I had this thought earlier because people were going nuts for him. I was like, a real fan base cheering at 75% strength beats your fake crowd noise any day of the week. You can hear and feel the energy sitting at home in a completely different way. This was a group of 400 people. I really, really like that organic, just people being just into it. And credit to Lexis King too, because he's the other half of that, right? So it's just really cool to see that part. It's really cool to see stars blossoming in front of your eyes. And he really is a special, special kid.
So Oba and Javon Evans are in the ring across from each other, and the lights go out, and those guys are there. And again, I just want one interview segment with One Sleeve guy so he can tell me what that One Sleeve did to hurt him so many years ago. But other than that, he's the coolest because when they cut to all the guys, Osiris giving up there popping his pecs through his mesh t-shirt, and Dion Lennox is and random white guy number 4 is just standing there being random, and then they cut to him and he is so far down in the seat Like you could barely see him above the rest of the crowd because he's like, "That's right, I don't care. This is me." Like it just you only see him like from the nose up, and I was like, "Yes, yeah, dude who doesn't want to be there is my favorite guy in NXT." Like this, just that because that's who I would be in this particular timeline. So, yes, the fifth member is the lighting guy. Spotlights again. So, like Stark Date. Dark State is now Stark Date because the lighting is so stark when they come out. Yeah, so they're there, and then Oba and Javon are hey, what's going on? And then here comes Trick, who doesn't pay them any mind at all, and ends up trying to take out Oba with a running knee, but ends up hitting Javon with it instead. And then there's not really a pull apart, just a vague insistence that you do not punch each other yet. Was what this was from like they're like, hey now hold on, a different time would be best for this. Is mostly what we got from the officials and the security guys tonight for this particular thing.
They're like, you got to save your pull apart for next week.
Yeah, we don't want to do those 2 weeks in a row. That would be excessive.
I did like the continued emphasis on Javon's jaw, like in the match and in the attack. Yeah. Like that's good to keep that storytelling moving forward because we're supposed to believe he had his jaw wired shut. That's a very severe thing. So, I just don't. Let's get the show on the road with Dark State. I'll put it that way. Like let's get moving. Looking forward to what on the indies was Lucky Ali for sure. Because he does just have, there's an effortlessness about him that you can't replicate. Like that's, you think you can't teach being 7 foot tall. You can't teach that. Yeah. So
let's talk about this other thing. Because it's obvious the Trick did it. I mean, but later they interviewed Trick about Oba and Javon Evans. So Javon got in the way. I'm the man around here. I'm coming for Oba and get my title back. Like, Trick, one last question. What do you think about Dark State? That ain't my business. In the least convincing answer to any question ever. And then he leaves. And I'm happy that those
fellas.
Like who? Oh, I don't know. I haven't.
What state?
I haven't seen the tweets. Excuse me, I have a meeting to get to. So like that, like a very non-convincing denial. So there's a red herring.
Yes, I loved this.
Man, I have been saying it now since he had the sit down with Santos on the houseboat.
Yes.
And he was. If nobody else saw it, I saw it. The one episode of that CW show he was in, he was fine. There was nothing. He was better than the lead in the show. Like he's just a guy. Like they didn't ask him to do a whole bunch of stuff, but he was totally. If you had no idea that guy was a wrestler and he was just a guy on a C-level, barely a network show, and you saw that guy, you'd absolutely believe he was a paid actor. He was totally fine. But I want to see him playing this type of character in a movie or a TV show or something. Like before Scorsese dies, can we get this guy on a Scorsese pick? If they're going to do any more of those Sopranos prequels, can this guy please be in something like that where he can play this type of role? Because Tony D'Angelo is so understated. Like this is the thing about being a wrestler is that they teach you to like yell into the microphone so the people way up in the cheap seats can know what you're doing. You have to make giant big faces and everything so everybody can see you. And so that's not what they're but here in these little pre-tapes he is so understated. Everything's like, hey, it was like everyone comes in to sit around the thing. All of the two bearded Goombas, they got to get two different guys other than these guys because these dudes are in their mid-50s with their little 5 o'clock shadow and their fedoras, and they're wearing like blazers over jeans. Like these don't feel like Tony's guys. But anyway, they're like, "Hey, boss, the streets are talking. I hear everything." And then come in Luca and Stax and Big Ange, and Luca's like, "Hey, boss, how you doing? I'm fine. Those 4 guys did a number on me. I want to know who they are. I want to know what they're eating for dinner before they even know themselves. You go out there, you get me some names, you find out as much as you can about these guys. Like, okay, we'll do that for you, boss. They leave. Stacks, you stay. And this is just so great, this thing, because now listen, I saw some people upset about the backstory of like we grew up together. That's always been their backstory. Like it's absurd, but it's always been the backstory that Channing Stacks Lorenzo and Tony D came up on the streets together. It's silly, but it's always been consistent. That's always been their backstory. And like you knocked over a high stakes poker game with Ralphie Chicoretto or something. And when your card got pulled, when they were gonna whack you, I spoke up for you because I'm the son of the D'Angelo family, and I made sure nothing bad happened to you. Like, I'll never forget what you've done for me. He's like, good. Can I trust you? And Stacks doesn't say anything, but he stands up. He puts his hand stands behind him, like where you would put a knife if you were going to stab a guy, and puts his hand on his shoulder. He leans over like, you could trust me, Tony. Always. And he leaves. And Stacks is barely passable at this, but he's doing just enough to make it not terrible. But Tony D, the look in his eyes when he realizes that Stacks probably ordered the hit is just friggin'
poetry.
Priceless. God, he's like, as far as like character actors go, because you can have Kevin Owens, who's an amazing guy at playing himself. But like, this is an entire character. Like, it's a caricature that he has made as real as anything in any mob movie. Like, those are all caricatures as well, but they're played not for laughs. They're played for real pathos. He's doing great. Like, absolutely, this guy could play young De Niro better than old De Niro plays young De Niro when they do all the weird AI stuff to his face. Get this guy to play young De Niro next time. He's really good.
He is really good. That moment that you talked about right at the end, really well shot too. His vignettes are always really well shot. I don't know what the deal is, but the Santos story, the Gallus story, like this, they're always filming mini movies with this. And it works. It works really well. But the look at his face is fantastic.
This is so true, and it makes me so sad. Cyclo saying Tony D's going to do Lady in the Tramp skits.
Never call him up. Never call him up. Please never call him up. I never thought I'd say that, but never call him up.
Hey, Butch, you're here. I got a spaghetti and a meatballs for you. Come on over here. Our truth in a Butch. Come on. That's what it's going to be.
He's really good. I really hope that they don't go like, what's amazing was in NXT 2.0, everything was goofy, right? Mm-hmm. And he managed to make it work. And now we've translated to, not always the best product in the world still, but like, it's mostly human beings now. And he has this incredibly silly character, but it doesn't feel incredibly silly. Like, it doesn't feel out of place. You're not like, why is there a mobster around a wrestling product? It doesn't feel that way because he's just a guy that operates in this context.
Listen, if I entered into watching this product right now, I would have an aneurysm every night because I don't understand why. I still don't get why. Like, hey, you know what the real money is, kid? Wrestling. Only in Orlando, though. Don't go on tour. Go to wrestling school in Orlando in a warehouse. That's where the real kashish is. Like, he would be on the streets running things for his Uncle Carmine, but instead the real place to go and get money is to wrestle in NXT, which doesn't make any sense. But it's fine because he's making again, if you haven't ever seen it, I'm sure it's got to be on YouTube somewhere. The sit down he had with Santos on the houseboat. My God, I was like, where?
Both of them, Santos and him.
Santos is so good at this too. Yeah. Like, again, the Santos rotting away on SmackDown where he should be a top dude in this company. It's just nuts to me. So, but anyway, so good, and this was really excellent, and I love that they're introducing it, because the way that Stax does it makes it seem so obvious that he was at least in on it if he's not part of Dark State.
Yes.
So I think they're trying to lay that heavy on you so that when it doesn't turn out to be Stax, it was a red herring to try and throw you off the scent of obviously Trick Williams. You know what I mean? So,
which, Alex, how many times have we said, because they did so many whodunit angles in a row and so many backstage attacks, we've asked for this. Like, we've both been like, man, it's so boring when you have a whodunit angle and it's just who you've thought done it, and then they done it. Like, that sucks. It sucks when you thought who done it. That's no fun.
No.
I appreciate the attempt at a swerve here. It was well done. Tony D is a phenom, which is so weird. Because I did not think when he was talking about the Hudson River in front of the Chicago that we were gonna be like, that dude rules in a couple years, but he is.
Yeah, no, it's usually it's not whodunits, it's definitely did it. And so I'm happy we have like a possible whodunit here.
Yeah, and well executed. Like, it's probably Trick. But this was good.
I'm Trick leading a faction of 5 dudes instead of 4 is also possible. Stax being part of this thing as well. You know what I mean? Like, that's if both of them are actually on it is kind of interesting as well. Yeah, there was also.
I love that idea that Stax is like, well, I can't get promoted. Yeah. I can only be an underboss.
Yeah, there's no chance of me ever being the boss.
No,
let alone the overboss. Never gonna be overboss.
I'm not going to be a C-level executive around these parts.
Yes, not over and not under, just at C-level. That is me.
That's it.
That's the highest I can go. So I think that I would have to throw in my lot with one sleeve guy and the rookies and the bookworm, so that I could be a lieutenant. Maybe I could be the underboss of the Trick Williams faction. Maybe there's more room for advancement.
My career growth path.
Yeah. My career growth has become stagnant in my current position. So I am putting out feelers, and I have updated my resume.
My LinkedIn profile has been revamped.
Hoping to get a call from a recruiter at any moment. Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley defeated the Meta Girls while the Zol Crushers were standing at ringside.
Yes.
I love them doing a tandem version of Tatum Paxley's, they call it the Cemetery Drive. It's the old, oh God, what was her name who did it all the time, and then they stole it from her. Anyway, if Luis was here, he would know. But
was the Tequila Shot, right?
Tequila Shot, yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so, but her renaming it Cemetery Drive, I honestly do like.
It's great.
And them doing a tandem version of it is a cool finisher. And so they had to win if they're getting like into the title picture in TNA. So now we're gonna have Lash and Jakara blaming Zol Crushers for it. Maybe eventually they'll be the tag team champions. Will get involved in something where they ever come to NXT, but we'll have to see.
Split the titles back up. I've seen enough.
Yeah. And
it was good, by the way.
It was a good match. It was a good
Everything
match.
on this show was like solid in ring predictable outcome, but solid.
Right. I mean, like, yeah. But the way that you had Lash and Jakara react, it's clear that they want you to think that they got distracted by Soul and
the Zol crush. Their Zols were crushed. Yeah.
Their Zols got crushed by the distraction. So anyway.
This is very disorienting, by the way, because this is definitely going to be true this week.
Oh my God, yeah.
By miles. Like it's It's a weird time to be on the road to WrestleMania and be like, I think NXT is the strongest product right now.
Yeah. I mean, and I think my favorite thing about any of the product this week is probably going to be a scene in a restaurant between two wrestlers who are pretending to be Italian mobsters.
You Billy Joel perv. Scenes from an Italian restaurant.
Stephanie was checked up on by Ava, who's like, I don't know if I can let you back out there. And Stephanie is like, I have to do this for the women's locker room and for my country of Chile. And I was like, I have no idea what Chile has to do with any of this, but it's great that you're patriotic. But Fallon gets her title match tonight, and Ava's like, well, all right. Like, she doesn't really try hard to so the referee's like, the trainer guy's like, well, as long as she can manage the pain, yeah, that's fine. I mean, her ribs aren't going to get any more broken than they are right now, so it's fine. Just Ava hiring the absolute best in their fields.
She's like, I've seen enough, like, oh, we're being so dramatic, hold harmless agreement. I've seen it. She's like, whatever, do whatever you want.
We also got a Stevie Turner sighting for the first time since Robert Stone got murdered. So, like, she's back, kind of.
I thought they were going to be in love.
Me too. There's still time.
It's true.
Maybe we could have a nice June wedding, on a nice June wrestling wedding.
It's been a minute since we had a wrestling wedding. You know, I love wrestling weddings.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm an enthusiast.
Yeah. So Stephanie was able to defeat Fallon Henley. Fallon Henley is she is just as good as you could possibly want for somebody who's going to like lose most of her matches on the main roster if she ever actually is featured on television. You know what I mean? Like, she's really, really good at this, and I don't think that there's a ceiling for her that is above Alba Fire on the main roster. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, I think Kaylee Ray is amazing, but like where she is now, like, do we think she creeps into the group that involves, like, do we think Fallon Henley gets multiple shots at the US or Intercontinental title?
How the hell are we supposed to make that prediction based off?
I mean, but
her name is not Mi Chin, so no on the US title.
I'm saying, is her ceiling above or below Mi Chin?
I feel like it's right where Mi Chin's at. But because Chelsea Green is permanently assigned to fight Mi Chin the rest of her life.
And if you asked me, do you think Blair Davenport's ceiling is above or below Mi Chin? I would have said above.
Sure.
You know, and if you asked me, Kiana James, what's her ceiling? I was like, honestly, I think she's really great in the ring. And she has a character that will totally work on the main roster with the way they do stuff. So I don't know if I see her as like a future world champion, but she could definitely like be part of a prominent faction or something. I guess she's been injured, but I don't know with what.
It's a bad leg injury, I heard.
She immediately was like, I am Adam Pearce's assistant, kind of. So
yeah,
I think Fallon is great. So
Fallon is great. Here's the problem.
I just don't know where they're gonna go. You know what I mean?
They don't know where they're gonna go. Yeah. They've I don't know what the hell more they need to see from Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, and Fallon Henley. I don't know what more they need to see. They have an ailing mid card. Same with their tag division. Like, they have so much underutilized talent that's already on the main roster. It does make me nervous. I don't want to be I'm always rooting for what's best for the wrestlers. So when I say this, I don't mean I want them to make the minimum salary you can have in WWE and max out your creative ceiling on NXT. That's not what I mean when I say this. But because the call-ups have gone so poorly, I don't want them to get called up unless they have extremely deliberate plans, because I mean, what evidence do we have to show me that that's not the case? Braun Breaker, Tiffany Stratton. Mm-hmm. I mean, I can't even say that with Roxanne. She was an Elimination Chamber and then is persona non grata.
I don't know where.
Roxanne Perez, we don't know what she's doing. Like,
she have a problem with her passport, so she can't travel to Europe. I don't know what's going on.
It's bizarre. It's bizarre. But Fallon Henley is very good, and her and Seth just have great chemistry. They had it the first time around. They have it again here. I just I don't think she's long for like a world title run. So call her up. Do something with her.
Yeah.
Have her be a contender.
I don't know. But anyway, she was really good in this, and Stephanie won with the SVB. So I thought there was a very good chance that she was going to lose this title tonight.
I was kind of split on it. I thought it would make sense if she did, but I feel like losing your first defense out of the gate is tough. Like, then it just feels like you were so nominally stuffed 2 belts. Like, I think you want 1 or 2 under your...
No, for sure. But like when Keith Lee won the world title while he was currently North American champion, he just had to put it up. He just had to vacate it. They didn't give him an option. He just had to vacate it. And then in his first defense as world champion, he got sunned by Karrion Kross. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So, first he got his face burned off by some flash paper inside an at-a-glance, and it has, honestly, it's one of the greatest sell jobs of anything ever. It's just find the gift gif of it, where you have where he opens up this folder and then flames, and he just does this falling backwards. It's amazing. But I don't know. I'm happy she's still the champion, but I don't want her to have to do double duty again. And I don't want her to...
Not this close to Mania, especially. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't want her to do double duty at Mania. And I need both of the titles defended. You know what I mean? Like...
Sure.
The idea that like maybe they're gonna do somebody like this is a thing that they've done before in the past, so I wouldn't expect them to not do it because they only do things they've done in the past. So that it's a 2 falls match. The winner of the first fall is the North American champion. The winner of the second fall is the world champion. And it's both. You have in it 3 women, and the 3 women are Stephanie, Jordan Grace, and Jaida Parker.
Well, you can't do a 1-on-1 match this WrestleMania weekend. That's what we've learned. It's illegal.
No, you can't. You can only do multi. So
that's not bad.
Yeah, they did show after the match was over. We saw all of the people back. Lolo's like, I want Stephanie next, and Kalani's like, no, I do. And then like, everybody stands up. Me, I want the title shot. And it was like, it's fine. I will figure this out. How about you just do a
tournament
number one contenders battle royal next week, and why
did I say it like Lillian Garcia? Tournament.
It's a number one contender tournament for the North American Championship.
Nailed it.
So Stephanie's amazing, and she's. We'll just have to see what they do with this. I think there should be separate title feuds for separate champions of separate titles. I'm old-fashioned that way.
I like my rules. You hear that, Lexis King?
Yeah.
I like rules. And Alex is an old-fashioned gentleman who just wants his titles defended separately. I also am like, what are we doing with Zarya and Tolrukan? Are they going to be...
They're in a tag team.
But like for Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania, like they have to be on one of the cards.
The answer is almost... there's a better chance of them not being on any card than being on either of the cards.
Do you think they're going to be on like the SmackDown card?
It's possible. Like the women's tag team titles, it sure looks like they're going to have the women's intercontinental champion being one of half of the that's what it looks like to me. The women's intercontinental champion is going to be one half of the challengers to the tag titles. No, will they do
what,
multi-team? Like, because they can't have they have multi-man and multi-women matches. Are they going to have multi-team matches too? If so, the Zol Crushers should be one of those multi-teams.
Alex, a very wise man in the chat yesterday on Fightful Select said, the thing about the build to WrestleMania is it's bad. And that man was Matthew Hooks. And the thing about Matthew Hooks is he is the voice of the voiceless. He said what needed to be said. And darn it, isn't that the voice that you want associated with your brand, Alex?
Yeah, for sure.
If you were looking for a voice, it would be one of sound, logic, and reason, like Matthew Hooks, who's in our chat yesterday. I would want that recorded and mixed and done by him as well. Yeah. And I would want that behind, if I had a national or internationally renowned brand.
I would want that.
I would want his voice associated with my product. And in fact, I would be like, gosh, I can't be the only one with that idea. I bet he's done that for other nationally and internationally recognized brands. Yes. And darn it, if I went to hookedinvoiceovers.com, I would be able to hear his reels. Yeah,
you would.
Where that is in fact true.
Wow.
So there you go. He can do them in so many different styles. He can take all the responsibilities of the whole process off your plate. So go to hookedinvoiceovers.com. Be associated with sound reasoning that Matthew Hooks has.
Yes.
And if anybody in the world is a good judge of measured sound reasoning, it is Alex and I.
Also, very professional voice work that does not veer into cartoonishness.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah.
Certainly not when we're doing talk show bits and talking about throwing bricks at the moon.
Yeah. Sure.
Hookedinvoiceovers.com. Sincerely, Matthew Hooks, a huge supporter of us, supports the Fightful Awards the past 2 years, supports us on a monthly basis, genuinely does a very, very great job. So please head over to hookedinvoiceovers.com. Give him a follow on social media as well. He's a fantastic fella and a talented dude, and we appreciate him around these here parts.
We do. Kate, we got the Fatal Influence. They were attacking Stephanie after the match. So Jordan Grace made the save because only I get to beat up her, but in a match wise. And then Jaida Parker tried to come in and attack Jordan Grace, but Jordan Grace had none of that. And then it's just Jordan and Stephanie facing off. So I think that is if we get a one-on-one match for one of the titles, it will be that title, the world title. It's Stephanie versus Jordan Grace. If there's a one-on-one match to be had.
Yes.
I do think there's a chance that we get the thing I described. Where the North American Championship and they're contended for in the same match, because they're not putting 9 matches on the Stand and Deliver card. You know what I mean? So like we're trying to get everybody on there. We got to figure out ways of doing that, and one of the ways is like, well, we're not going to have 2 women's matches. That's silly. So we'll just have one where both of the titles are being defended.
I don't love it, but I don't fully hate it. Because that's a good way to transition one to somebody else and make Steph look really strong in the process. It's not the worst way to go about business, but not my favorite way either.
Yeah. Insert clever Nixon Newell pun says, I have to go to bed early, so I'll catch y'all on the replay, but not without a pun. TV show pun. Why not? The Nixon Newell Adventures of Old Chris Tegan Knox.
Very nice.
Jaden Pringle wanted us to do cereal puns because are you serious? Cereal puns? Maybe we'll do
Are you super cereal?
El Hijo del Perro Aguayo from Tom LaValle. Ryan Cicchini says, I think Julia's coming back heel. I want her and Mako Stand and Deliver to kickstart it. Wouldn't that be great? That's a match I would not complain if they had no build.
Yeah. Sincerely. I'll say this. Sean has heard nothing at all about the status of Julia. Like, zilch. So that was asked on the Hump When Jimmy's not there, he calls it the "What's Up, You Guys" show. So he's gotten asked about that consistently, and there's just no information. So I don't know if she's going to be ready around Stand and Deliver or not.
Yeah,
it'll always be pronounced.
If Julia came back with a little edge to her and says, "I'm getting my title back, but I'm not in the title match tonight. But I'll face anybody who's in the back, and anybody in the back is Meiko Satomura."
That would be incredible.
I wouldn't care that there was no build to that. That'd be the best.
Nope.
Will says, I get the theory of the NIL. Like, we want women like Bianca Belair, who was just a track star and had nothing, behind it before she showed up. And then he says, which is true, the problem is Bianca is one of one. There's she's a unicorn. You know what I mean?
I mean, in the most literal sense, the EST thing came because she set all the records at the Performance Center, right? I think the issue, I don't even know if it's an issue. It's WWE's money. It's how they choose to spend it.
Yeah.
I think the thing is, you come across one of those once every 40 people you sign for something like this.
Yeah.
Right. And that's probably being generous, as opposed to having people that have proven what they are going to be already, like an Ethan Page, Ricky Starks is a almost different level type of example, but that you're gonna have your Braun Breakers, but you're gonna have them once every 100 people or whatever. So it's just it's a completely different method about going about business. I don't hate it when it's mixed in with other stuff, because right now you have a pretty fresh product. It's just when you only have NIL, you have one perspective, trained in the Performance Center, not ready for TV yet in most cases, representing your TV. And there's it's just listening to the same song on repeat. That gets old. And it's not even that great of a song. Because these people haven't learned yet.
Right. Yeah.
But you throw all these people in the mix and it's great.
Ryan Chikini says, Typhoon, future Hall of Famer this year, Typhoon might teach Hank and Tank to be a big man team. I mean, if they're starting to learn all these different things about it, maybe that's it. Mike Shutt saying Stephanie Vaquer, pocket aces, and a pair of chop sticks. That was what we're doing. Things that comes in twos. Here's stuff for states: Pennsylvania, El Cerro, Massachusetts, North Dakota Kai, Chelsea, Greenland, which might be a state soon. Going to opening day Thursday. It's a handicap match with Phillies fans.
Have fun. It was so much fun at that.
Alpha Bill says Wendy Chusets. That's my favorite. Wheeler, Utah. That's amazing.
Wheeler, Utah's great. Oh,
and Hangman Adam Page. Alpha Bill was complaining about having to do research about our provinces because he's from Australia. He comes out with 3 for 3 with 3 dingers on opening day.
Nailed it. Man, back to back.
Wow, that was great. Tom LaValle says, give her the Rick Martel spritzer by Elegance. Okay. Toruza says, did I miss the TNA rant? Alex, go off, my man. Love you. Listen, I don't watch TNA, but I know enough about Gail Kim to know this was a dumb thing that should never have been done.
There's so many people that I saw online that just kept saying this is so LOL TNA. This is just what they do. I would have thought maybe they would have had their heads not so much up their butts with this talent exchange, whatever. It always sucks when somebody that's synonymous with a brand kind of gets released or fired or whatever. And when you pair that with Gail Kim's legacy to women's wrestling and wrestling in general, that sucks even more. And when you see the reactions from talent backstage, that sucks the most, because those are the people that really liked working with her that don't have her to work with. And they just got Scott D'Amore, who was pretty universally liked. take it away from them. In fact, Sean was going to publish an update today on Fightful Select, but he has to wait till tomorrow because the talent responses keep pouring in. Like, there are so many people that are upset by these changes. One of the other executives who I just don't know by name, but in the same category, is extremely well liked. It was a shock that it happened kind of thing. It sucks. It sucks. But when for so long, TNA Impact was the North Star of women's wrestling in America, and Gail Kim was like the quarterback of all that. So now it's going to be different people agenting their matches and producing all these storylines and stuff. It sucks. It sucks, and it's an incredible oversight of the value that I think that woman brought to the product, internally, externally facing. An absolute legend. Just a really, really dumb idea. Really dumb idea.
Yeah. Well, also to screw up TNA for making bad choices, have Ethan Page deliver a kiss of death to the TNA logo like Okada did. Really cement their demise. There you go.
I think Okada did fine with that. I think that's fine. I think he pretty much nailed it on his own.
Will Chisholm talking about the Ricky Stark Saints thing. This Sean Spears says, I know Punk's your friend and you come with drama, aka the problem child, saying it without saying it. Good segment. It was an interesting way of handling the you came from another place, which we're not allowed to mention.
Yes, it was well done too, because they talked about the two of them having known each other. Like I like that it was more about the relationship than the where you used to work thing.
Yeah. And Will Chisholm saying, poor Ava, still stressing over her dad taking souls. But I love how they're building Stephanie Vaquer as an NXT great. They're really talking her up, and they should. She's amazing. She's absolutely amazing.
Keep her while you got her, because she'll be on the main roster sooner than later, I think.
Selective Mayhem says the State Mortos, not the Beast Mortos, the State Mortos, and Georgia the Animal Steel. I like that one a lot. And then here we go, Vermonty Brown and Tito Montana, not Tito Santana, Tito Montana, and Connect Oz Cutter.
Very nice.
Connect to Cutter is fine enough, but I like that.
Connect to Cutter, yeah.
Okay, and then Tom Lavallee says, "I see you, Alpha Bill. Queensland Aminata."
Very nice.
So there you go.
Very nice.
And yes, give the ROH and AW Women's Division to Gail Kim. Let her book the women.
Let her book all of ROH. Nobody else is.
That's true. All right, we only have a couple of jukeboxes, so maybe we'll get out of here early. So hold on, I'm going to Google. Rainbow.
You know the words to this.
I do, but I just want to make sure.
I get
it.
You
know when you're doing the karaoke and you know the words, but you still sneak a peek every now and then just to make sure. So here we go. Why are there so many songs about rainbows? And what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions. And rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong. Wait and see. Someday we'll find it. The rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. Thank you.
That was beautiful.
Again, because of the song that is playing on the 30-second countdown, In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel. Okay. So Tom LaValle wants to hear In Your Eyes by Peter Gabriel as sung by me. Love, I get so lost sometimes. Days pass and this emptiness fills my heart. When I want to run away, I drive off in my car. But whichever way I go, I come back to the place you are. All my instincts, they return. The grand facade so soon will burn. Without a noise, without my pride, I reach out from the inside. In your eyes, the light, the heat, in your eyes, I am complete. In your eyes, I see his doorway, your eyes, 1,000 churches, your eyes, the scene of music, in all my future searches, in your eyes. Thank you. Hello,
Shout out to
Brian
Brian Michael Smith, who
hello. Welcome.
did my favorite thing, which is to walk in right now at a point where absolutely it's just madness.
Tom LaValle paid me $2 to sing this song.
What's the best is it's not even one of the wrestler impression ones. I love it when people walk in at an original character.
No, it's just the thing that I do because of the wig. See?
Oh.
Ali likes it. And Brian says, thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brian.
We did talk about the show, by the way. If you go back to
for a long time, for an hour and 3/4, we talked about this episode of NXT, and so we do something silly at the end.
Well,
because
Alex
people pay me money to do silly things, and so I do it.
Oh man. That's such a beautiful love song for real.
I know. It is. Well, sometimes some people that pay me to sing things as the ghost of Dusty Rhodes. So, like,
it's true.
It's true. Things happen. So, anyway, thanks for being here, Brian. I'm glad you're a good sport about it. Yeah. Some people show up and they're like, "This is terrible. Be serious about wrestling." People fighting in their underwear is serious all the time.
Be so for real.
Everybody.
All right, kind sir.
I'm going on vacation tomorrow. It's to beautiful St. Louis.
I guess Sean's doing the post-show alone, probably. Maybe I'll have a special guest.
Alex
said not my problem.
I told him ahead of time. I gave him literally 72 hours notice. So
that's pretty. That's more than I get when he needs to be.
Yeah, when he's usually like, hey, the show starts in 15 minutes. Can you co-host with it?
You host with Alex.
Yeah. So yeah. The
tell the people where you're going.
The kid's on spring break, so we're going to the St. Louis Zoo, and we're going to this amazing like children's museum. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That rules.
Yeah. There you go.
Well, we'll see you next time on the road to stand
and deliver.
I miss Pretty Deadly being around.
Keep cool, gabagools.
Yeah.